Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are well. We have reached the end of the year. It's been a wild one. I hope your guys' year has been good. Mine has been interesting, to say the least. You know how it goes. Whenever we get to the end of the year, people start to think about their resolutions. They start to think, who do they want to be in the coming year? And I'm sure you're in that spot too because you're here watching this video. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the things I am leaving behind in 2025. They're not following me into the new year. They're staying right here. And I believe that these are things that we all have to let go of. I think these are things that keep us behind, that keep us stagnant, and we just don't want that. That's just not cute. Before we get into this though, let me not be rude. Let me introduce myself. I am Spesihle Joy Pungane. You can call me Joy if you want to. I make commentary videos online. If you're into that, subscribe. Okay, let's get into it. First thing that I'm leaving behind in 2025 is people pleasing. Guys, we're leaving it. We're letting it go. People pleasing is just so... it's so very suffocating. I am a recovered/retired people pleaser. I know what it's like to people please, and I know what it's like to constantly want people's validation and acceptance. And although that has its place to some extent, it just isn't the way to go for life, I think. Like, I lived so much of my life, not just this year, but just growing up, I lived so much of my life centered around people, centered around pleasing other people, centered around wanting to be accepted, wanting to be validated, to the point where I literally let people walk all over me. I didn't have boundaries. I became like a side character in my own life. And that's just not it, guys. And if you're a people pleaser watching this, I know what it's like to just want to be accepted and to be loved. But I think that we have to know that starts with us. You have to be the first person to love yourself, to stand up for yourself, to make boundaries for yourself. You have to be that person. No one else is going to do it for you. And so I really encourage you, please, let's cut the people pleasing. It's definitely hard at the start. It feels like you're being mean when you set a boundary, when you say no, even though you really want to say no. It feels like you're just being so rude. And sometimes people will treat you like you're being rude, or people will treat you like you're changing and you're just changing for the worse. But be honest with yourself and stay true to yourself. And I also think that a lot of Christians think that people pleasing is a good thing. Like, it's somewhat Christ-like, but it isn't. Christ was not a people pleaser. He had people who disliked him, and he didn't bend to their standards. He didn't try to receive validation from the Pharisees or the Sadducees. He was kind, yes, but he was honest. He was true. So as Christians, we can't be people pleasers, guys. We have to maintain the standard of God. The Bible says, do not conform to the standards of this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. We can't conform. And a lot of the time, when you people please, you will end up in a place where you conform. And now, obviously, there's a balance. You don't have to stop people pleasing and become a rude person. There's balance. You can have grace, you can be loving, you can be kind, but you can also be very firm about what you believe in, what is true, and who you are. The last thing I want to add is know that you will be loved by the right people. When you stop performing, pretending, striving for love, and when you just lean into who you are, when you just lean into your real personality, you will attract those who are for you. You will attract people who genuinely love you authentically. So goodbye, people pleasing, throwing it in the trash. The second thing I'm leaving behind in 2025 is forcing relationships. One thing about me, I am a very persuasive, very determined person. So when I want something, I will do anything for it. And though that can be a good trait maybe, but sometimes it definitely has some shortfalls. I have been in multiple friendships where things just stop working out. Sometimes we outgrow people, or sometimes things happen. And oftentimes in all those situations, I wanted to keep it together. I wanted to make it work somehow. But now I think this year taught me that you can let things go. It's okay. You don't have to force something to work. Now, I'm not saying you should give up on every single relationship. Obviously not. There's a time to try. But then you should discern, are you supposed to be continuing with this relationship or should you let it go? And the Holy Spirit is able to tell us these things, guys. So ask him, talk to him. God, is this for me right now? Is this entering my next season or not? And if it's not, don't force it. If you are here right now and you're watching this and there is a friend or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or even a cousin, guys, if there is someone that you're thinking of as I'm saying this and you've been thinking about letting them go, but you're just so afraid because you just love them, let's not force it. If it's not meant to be, if it's not working out, if you can literally feel in your spirit that you should let this go, then do it. When we let things go, we make room for the things that are for us. And as a result, you're just going to be happier. It's simple maths. Also, forcing things makes you drained. It drains you. If you're in relationships, friendships that have you overthinking, that have you reading them like the Pythagoras theory, if you're doing all of that, no. 2026, honey, we are not forcing relationships. Don't force anyone to like you. Don't force anyone to choose you. Don't force anyone. Don't force. Actually, not just relationships. Don't force anything. And there's definitely a time, going back to Ephesians 3, there's definitely a time for fighting. There's a war season, warfare, where everything is resisting you. And there's a time to pray and push, right? I think there's a difference between pushing and forcing. Forcing is just the idea that this is not for you, but you are going for it, right? Pushing is the idea that there are obstacles, challenges, but you are going for it anyway because it is yours. The Israelites, they engaged in battle, they engaged in wars to have their promised land. It was theirs. The Lord said, I've given it unto you. And there are times like that. But there's times where this one is meant to go. It's giving Sarah and Abraham, they tried to have the promise fulfilled in their own way. They made an Ishmael, brought Hagar into this situation. That is forcing. That is the nature of forcing. And that is not what we're doing in 2026. We have to trust in the sovereignty of God. We have to trust that God is able to fulfill our hearts. He's able to take us to an expected end. Now we're going on to the third thing that we're leaving behind in 2025. Obsessing over control. I think I'm actually exposing myself in this video. I obsess over control. Obsessed. I'm obsessed with control. Well, used to be. But this year, God completely stripped me of control and he stripped it all away. I don't have anything left. Having control gives you a sense of calm and peace. But the problem is you can't be obsessed with control because you won't always have it. Life in general is uncertain. Everyone who used to be a control freak like me, let's take a seat. Let's take a seat and let's let God control. I'm sitting here speaking to you guys. I'm going into 2026. I have no idea what I'm going to do. Anything can happen next year, actually. Anything can happen because I've left it in God's hands. Now, I'm not saying you should be like me. There's a season. It's a specific season I'm in. You may not be in that season, but I'm in a season where God is trying to teach me, let go of control and just trust me fully. And that's what I'm going to do. Stop obsessing with control, guys. Allow it to be. We're going to move on now to the fourth point. And this is such a big point for me. But this one, the fourth thing that I'm leaving behind in 2025 is shrinking myself. Now, the idea of shrinking yourself is to make yourself small to accommodate people, to accommodate spaces, you know? So you're just minimizing your talent, you're minimizing your smart, you're minimizing your beauty, you're minimizing yourself because you feel like you're too much. Guys, I'm so anti-shrinking yourself. And not in a prideful way. I'm not prideful, but I'm anti-shrinking. Shrinking yourself, guys, I think we feel sometimes, and if you're like me, if you relate, you get it. But to those who don't get it, let me explain. Sometimes we feel the pressure to be small, or like we feel like we're too much, and it usually happens in environments that are too small for you. If your friends aren't dreaming as big as you, if the workspace that you're in is not as ambitious, like doesn't have that ambitious thinking, that creative thinking that you have, if your family is just used to small, it can be different environments. It can be a partner, it can be anyone. Sometimes it's subconscious, you don't even realize it. One thing I learned about the whole concept of shrinking yourself is it's not humility. You are not doing anyone a favor by shrinking yourself. You're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing God a disservice because you're supposed to represent Him. He's a great big God, and He's given you all this capacity, but you want to live 1% of it because you're afraid of being seen. Isaiah 60 verse 1 says, "Arise and shine, for your light has come." I feel this point so heavily because I know what it's like to sit back and shrink, to hide, to blend in with the foliage, like to blend in with the background, when you're supposed to shine, my darling. Not in that you are a superstar or that you're so great, but because the God within you is great. Because God has given you a great calling, like you're meant to be great. Why are you so shy? Arise and shine. Shyness, fear, those things that keep you shrinking, that's not humility. Understand that you can be a great person and be humble. You can have a lot of money and be humble. You can be beautiful and be humble. You can be stylish, guys, and be humble. Because what you're doing is you're shining. And you're in shining, you are, like people are drawn to you, but who are you glorifying? Not yourself, but God. That is the point, my darling. You're supposed to be the salt of the earth. Now you want to minimize your flavor. The desire to shrink yourself, put it in my hand. Put it in my hand. Thank you. In the bin. And understand that we won't always be the same. Some people are naturally quieter, more minimalistic, and there are other boisterous, loud personalities. They are maximalists. We're different. But the point is that you should fully be who God is calling you to be. Be in that in fullness. Guys, when I tell you, I used to get like good grades in school, and then like there was a class where our teacher would put us in line with our grades. So the first one would sit here, and then the second one, like we'd be in a line. I hated that because it exposed your grade. But I didn't hate it because I got low grades. I hated it because I got high grades. And I was exposed like as a person who's doing excellently. And I would especially hate it when I got first place, because the other smart kids next to me, it was giving jealousy, but I would feel like, oh no, I'm causing trouble. I have to get at least 2 or 3, and I'm comfortable as second or third. Why should I be third place? And I'm not saying that I should always be first. I will gladly take a third place if I tried my best. But why am I like intentionally trying to get third place? Are you ill? I was ill. I was not well in the head. Because why am I so shy of being excellent? I used to be so shy of being excellent. Stop, guys. You're in this world to shine, to be a light, Jesus was a light. He's a light that the darkness cannot comprehend. And you are God's child. You're meant to be it. And in a way that is you can be so humble at the same time, because it's just His. I came out at the top of my grade only because of God. I was first in my class only because of God. And I will show that excellence because I'm proud of Him. If you're around people who are not dreaming as far as you, it's not that you're better than them. And never, ever think that you're better than anyone. But it's just that they're not yours. It's like they're not your group. In life, even in nature, there are trees, big, tall trees. And then there's grass, you know? And then there are flowers. There are different pieces to nature. And all of them are different, and all of them matter, and all of them are so beautiful. But if you are a tree, a tall tree, you always feel too much around grass. You just have to find the fellow trees. Find your group, find like-minded people, and shine. You won't always shine because you won't always win. There definitely will be seasons where God takes you down again, but go with it. Anyway, let's move on. The fifth thing I'm leaving behind, imposter syndrome, self-doubt. Guys, let's not romanticize imposter syndrome. Let's not normalize it. Because why do you feel like you're not fit for something that God says you're fit for? God knows. He fully knows your making. He fully knows your inner. Like, He knows what you're meant for. He knows what you can do. He knows. Speak to yourself in the mirror. Affirm yourself. Like, declare everything that God has called you to be. Declare it over yourself. I've spent years of my life being so small. I've spent years of my life feeling like, oh no, there's someone else who can do it better than me. Stop. It's you. You. Not you. You. I'm talking to you. It's you. Take on the call. Because God sees you as fit. He sees you as fit. And I just pray against the spirit of imposter syndrome right now, where the enemy's bringing and fueling you with doubts. And I just want to testify for myself. Obviously, I'm just like at the beginning of my social media content creation era. God told me to do this at the beginning of the year. The specific date was 24th of January. He said, you're going to make content. When He told me, I was like, yeah, me? Oh, no. And I was so shy. I was like, oh, no. And now I'm here at this point where I'm starting to find the boldness to do it, you know. And as I was making a content plan for this year, or for December and the next 2 months, I said to God, oh my gosh, God, it's too much. It's too much. But I literally told Him, what if I can't do it? I'm scared. And He's like, you're going to be fine. And I was like, guys, that means that even though I don't feel like I have the capacity, God knows I do. Yo, round of applause for that. Clap emojis in the chat, because how amazing, guys. He knows you. And so He said, Joy, you're going to do great. I'm like, oh God, I take it. You know why? Because you say it, I believe you. I may not feel confident. I may not feel like I have it all together, but I'm going to do it. And He's just like, have fun with it. Like, just be yourself. And I'm genuinely having so much fun. So imposter syndrome, goodbye. We are moving into everything that God calls us to. If it's a beautiful marriage, if it's being a mother, a father, if it's being a business owner, if it's being a CEO, if it's guys, anything you want to be, anything that God says you are, who can stop you? If God is for you, who can be against you? Nobody. So yeah, imposter syndrome, you're gone. Bye. This video is getting long, I realize. And I still have 5 more things that I'm leaving behind in 2025. So, I want to give you guys a break. So we're going to come out with a part 2 next week. Tune in for part 2. I'm going to give you the rest of the things we're leaving behind in 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below some things that you're leaving behind in 2025. Maybe I'll relate to you. Maybe you're stealing some of my points for the next video. Just remember to like. I will see you next week. Please turn on the notification bell so that you know when I upload the next video, because we're not done. We are constructing. We are still here in the works, okay? So don't miss out. I love you guys. I will see you. Bye.